clear and warm late summer afternoon. You have nothing to do and no place where you should be. There are only a few clouds in the sky, slowly floating around. Just like you, they seem to be enjoying their freedom on a leisurely summer day. After a picnic lunch on the meadow, you decide to take a little stroll before packing your things in your backpack. You've never been to this meadow before and feel the curious urge to explore your new surroundings. A soft, early afternoon wind caresses your hair and face as you stand up from your blanket. The grass of the meadow is high enough to reach your waist, so when sitting down during your picnic, most things around you were not visible from the thick grass. A quick look around reveals a small town below the hill and mighty mountaintops on the other side of the meadow. You walked 3 hours from that town to reach this meadow, and now it is time to see what there is around here. The picnic spot is under a tree, which happens to be the only tree on the meadow. So no matter how far your little adventure takes you, it will not be a difficult task to find your way back. You walk uphill to the direction of the mountaintops. But even though you walk uphill, every step you take feels lighter and easier to take than the last one. You take more steps and climb in the tall grass. After a while, moving in the grass starts feeling extremely light, just like walking on clouds. As strange as it sounds, you move up the hill as if you were floating upstream. You get closer and closer to the mountain tops. The tops grow bigger and bigger as you get closer. Suddenly the grass meadow ends and the landscape becomes more rugged, with stones and even big boulders here and there. Most of the boulders have a thick layer of moss on them, and they look like they have been here since the beginning of time. Here and there, a dry, dead tree is sticking out from between stones. But that's about the only vegetation in this sea of rocks. You continue uphill, hopping from one rock to another, and again on the next one. You proceed effortlessly, as if flying from a rock to another. The moss, that at first looked slippery, never slips under your shoes, and you move fast, closer to the steep mountain wall. As effortless as the jumping feels, you still start to feel a bit tired. You decide to take a break and stop on a big boulder to rest for a while. You look back at the meadow behind you, but just to notice that it's now covered by a slowly floating layer of fog. Then you turn to look ahead again, but you see something that was not there a second ago. A bear cub, standing on its back legs on a boulder just 10 meters away from your boulder. The little bear gives you a warm smile and moves its head quickly back and forth, as if to say, "Follow me." Then it jumps to the next rock and looks at you again. You jump to the nearest rock in the same direction, and the bear cub makes its next jump. The bear cub keeps jumping on without stopping to look back, and you keep following it. As you get closer to the mountain wall, the rocks get smaller and smaller, and soon you're on flat ground. The bear cub is now walking, and so are you. It seems to have a destination, and it's eager to share it with you. As you walk on and get closer to the great mountain wall, the air gets fresher, and breathing it gives you a relaxing feeling. Breathing has never felt this good before. You take in long breaths of clean mountain air. You look back over your shoulder, and the gentle thin fog has now covered the bed of boulders that you jumped on. When you turn back to look at the bear, you notice that it is standing on its back legs at what looks like an entrance to a cave. The bear goes in, and you take a few faster steps to keep up with it. When you get to the entrance, you decide to enter the cave as well. There are no torches, lanterns, or other light sources around, but still, a warm light is coming in from somewhere. The bear cub has slowed its pace down, and you two are now walking slower and closer to each other. The deeper you walk into the cave, the warmer it gets. There's a nice smell in the air. It reminds you of a food you once ate when you were younger. Maybe your mother cooked it, or maybe it was your grandmother. The deeper you walk, the narrower the corridor gets, and you feel more and more comfortable. The bear looks back at you and gives you the same warm smile as when you first saw it. The cave corridor takes a turn, and you arrive at a small open space. The corridor seems to end here, but instead, a small stream starts. A wooden rowboat is tied with a rope to a rock that sits by the water. You see a big pot of stew boiling in the center of the space. It must be the source of that pleasant smell. Next to the pot is a small wooden chair. The bear cub sits on the chair, picks up a wooden spoon about 50 centimeters long, and stirs the stew a few times. He then tastes the stew with the spoon and expresses his satisfaction with another warm smile and a series of small nods. Then he points at the boat, still smiling. You walk towards the boat and untie the rope. Then you turn around to look at the bear. He waves his paw and smiles. You hop on the boat. The boat is filled with soft pillows with warm corduroy covers. You lie down on the bed of pillows and pull a blanket on. The boat starts moving slowly with the current and enters a lower cave, just big enough for the boat to slide in. You close your eyes. You can smell the familiar stew one more time, and then a warm mist gently wraps you in, and you float lightly into the world of dreams.